Hey everybody, what is up and welcome back. And I am getting ready to go on a rant. So if you guys can't handle it and you get your feelings hurt or your butt hurt real easy, then I suggest you not watch this video because I'm getting ready to go off a little bit. So let's get into this. So as the title says, sometimes bands make mistakes when they're playing live. Now, the reason why I decided to make this video is because in my process of editing some videos and I was waiting for some stuff to upload to my computer, I was watching some YouTube videos and I came across a video and it's of Metallica, specifically James Hetfield over in Amsterdam, I think is where they were at. And he's getting ready to play a song and he kind of forgets how the intro goes, all right? Now, anybody that's ever played live long enough, and any musician out there that's played live long enough knows that we all have a brain fart every once in a while, and we'll actually forget how to play our own songs, you know. And it doesn't matter how many times we played them, it happens. You want to know why it happens? Because we're fucking human. That's why it happens. But for some reason, this new up-and-coming generation seems to think that it's not okay for a band that's playing live to make a mistake or have to restart a song, to the point that they make comments like they've seen such and such band and they've never restarted a song. Well, I got a newsflash for you people. Every band that's ever played live on a stage has had either made a mistake playing a song or had to restart the song. Because you know what? Shit happens when you're playing live. All kinds of shit can go wrong, from breaking strings to cables going out, cords going out, wireless is not working, falling off the stage, breaking your leg, passing out. I mean, there's all kinds of shit that can go on. Crazy people running on the stage in the middle of the song, or you can actually just mess up, which is what happens because you know what? Musicians are human beings, and every now and then, human beings actually do make mistakes. Oh my God, is that a reality? Yes, it is. The problem is that the new generation coming up thinks that everything is perfect because they get all their information from Facebook and fucking Twitter. And they think that whatever is said on the YouTube verse or everything is 100% fact. And whatever they see, well, that's real. Newsflash for you, it's not. Because you can take any video, any song, anything you want, and you can clean it up and post and edit the shit out of it. And you can fix every single little note and every single little mistake that you fucking make. And it's not that hard to do anymore because you don't have to be a production person to even do it. You just have to know how to turn on a fucking computer. Oh my God. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. I don't know what's going on, but this new generation in the digital age. Now, I'm not saying that some technology is awesome, but technology now has made people stupid. You know, because for some reason, people seem to think that if you're a live band playing live that you can't make a mistake. I wonder why that is. Gee, I don't know. Maybe because all the new up-and-coming bands are playing with what? Backing tracks! They're not even playing live! You're listening to their CD and watching them freaking lip sync and lip guitar play, for better lack of term, air guitar in it, and you're paying $200-300 to watch that shit. You might as well just turn on MTV, people, and save yourself a few $100 if that's what you want to go see, because that's not live music. Now, I'm an older guy, and back in the day, bands played live. And I'm a keep it simple stupid guy as well, and I like bands that are like that. Now, there's still bands out there that do play live. Metallica happens to be one of them. All right? Joan Jett is another example. Live, she's very keep it simple, stupid, raw, live playing musician. All right? And they knock it out of the park. Hailstorm is another one. They knock it out of the park. They do an awesome job. Now, before you guys punch me for backing track shit, I'm not going to say that I don't think you can use like intro tracks or orchestra tracks, or if you had a female backing vocal that was on a song but you actually don't have that singer there and stuff, that you use that track for the harmony or whatever is there. I don't have a problem with that. What I have a problem with is when a band is using nothing but tracks. And that means the guitars are tracks, the bass, singer, drums, everything is on a track. Everything's on a tape in the back or CD, whatever the hell they're using these days. It's on a computer, actually. But, and they're not actually playing live. Now, there's a lot of examples of bands that have been doing this lately. There's even bands that have actually canceled their shows because they didn't have their laptops, so they couldn't perform their show. Well, I got a newsflash for you. If you're a band that can't go play a show because you don't have a laptop, you need to go back and learn how to be a real fucking musician. You know, because that's a bunch of horseshit. You should be able to play something live, all right? If you are a slave to that computer and you can't perform, well, in my opinion, you fucking suck. And I don't care who dislikes it or doesn't like it or not. I don't care, because I think that's a bunch of crap. I just think that's a bunch of crap that you're tied into that. Now, I know that's the newest and latest and greatest thing, that everybody's got to have their little laptop and everything's programmed, and they got to have a little click track in their ear and all this other shit, and they got to have their little buds and everything's going on. That's a bunch of crap. That's just a bunch of crap, man. So many bands have come up and never used any of that shit. All the bands back in the day, they weren't using that shit. They weren't using that shit. They weren't using that stuff. And I know, here it comes. Well, Queen used backing tracks on Bohemian Rhapsody and stuff. Okay, Queen did a song where they had a bunch of backing stuff on a song. Got no problems with that, you know, because the band itself was not using tracks, okay? They were using a track to certain pieces of that song that they couldn't do live because they couldn't afford to have everybody on the stage. Again, that is not the issue. The issue is bands that are using total tracks where they're not playing, they're just lip syncing, they're not playing. It wouldn't matter if the guy stood there and just shrugged one hand, you would hear it all coming out, all right? Perfect example, Mick Mars and Motley Crue right now are in a big to-do because Mick Mars left because he said he actually wanted to play his guitar and they wanted him to play the tracks, and he said they were using too many tracks and he didn't like it, you know. He's even called out Nikki Sixx and said that he's playing 100% the backing tracks, all right? And there's this big fight going on. Now, there's videos out there that literally show Tommy Lee not on the drum kit and the drums are playing, all right? So Motley Crue can sit there and deny that they're not using tracks all they want to, but it's very obvious they are. Kiss is another band, and I'm a Kiss fan. I got a Kiss thing right there. Grew up on Kiss, but you know what? It's very disappointing to know that Paul Stanley's using tracks now with his vocals. And there's enough videos out there, enough evidence to show that he's not even near the microphone, but you can hear him singing. All right? And me personally, I think that there's a point in time in everybody's career that you got to hang it up. And you got to retire. Doesn't mean you have to quit playing. Just means that you need to stop trying to do that anymore, you know. Paul Stanley he's 70 some years old, you know. He shouldn't be able to have that great of a voice anymore. I mean, that's just how it goes. You get older, things change. There's nothing wrong with that, you know. But putting out all this stuff is a bunch of crap, you know. And the problem with the generation that's coming up is you guys think everything is perfect. You think everything's supposed to be time aligned. Some of the most amazing music out there was never done that way. Music has to have a flow. When you time align everything, it sounds robotic. It doesn't sound real. It sounds like a computer's playing it, not a person. Some of the greatest songs in the world were a little off time, and if you time align them, they wouldn't sound as good. And they've actually done that, where they took some great hit songs and then time aligned them, and they don't sound the same. They don't get the same vibe, don't get the same feel, don't get the same feel. Music is about feeling, it's about emotion, it's about flow. And when you take that away, then it just becomes robotic. And who the hell wants to list a bunch of robotic shit? I guess the younger generation or the new generation's coming up, you know, and I'm not saying all of you, but a lot of you are so hooked into this digital age that you don't know what it's like to have live performers actually play live anymore. And we're losing that with bands. We're losing that live performance. Everybody's tied into a click track. Everybody's tied to this. I've never used a click track my whole life. I've never played live with a click track. I've always listened to my drummer. My drummer, that's his job. The drummer keeps the time. That's what a drummer does. He's the guy that keeps the time. That's why you have a drummer. You know, the drummer keeps the time and you play to the time of the drummer. That's how live music works. Now, I understand hearing protection and all that, and I know people like to use in-ears because they can actually hear things a little better, and I get that, but for me, I don't do in-ears. I like to be able to hear everything, you know, and I need to hear it. And I've seen so many bands where their in-ear monitors aren't working. It's just another thing that can fail you. Now, they make hearing aids that you can put in that you can still hear the band and still cut the decibels down and stuff. And I think those things are a great thing. But I don't want in-ear monitors. I don't want all that shit. I want it to be live because I want to be able to hear the crowd. A lot of people that are wearing ears can't hear you, you know. But this whole thing that you guys think that bands are supposed to be perfect is a bunch of crap. You know, live bands will make mistakes. Every live band that's ever played has made mistakes in their career. That's just how it is. And the fact that you're complaining about it, that people are complaining because band got up there and they made a mistake and they decided to stop the song and restart it because they want to play it to the best of their ability and they want to perform it to the best they can for you because you paid a bunch of money to go see them, and now you're mad about that? I mean, how does that even fucking make any sense? I don't know how that makes any sense. It kind of blows my mind, you know. One of the best videos I saw recently, it was about a month or so ago, a couple months ago, whatever. Kirk Hammett was starting to play an intro to, I think it was either Fade to Black or Nothing Else Matters. I can't remember. But he messed it up, and he literally just lays down on the ground and owns it. Totally owns it. It's like, oops, boom. Lays down, sits there for a minute. The whole crowd laughs and cheers. Then he gets up, knocks it out of the park, plays the song, you know. We all do that. I've written a bunch of songs in my life, and I still forget how to play them sometimes. And I play them all the time. And I'll still mess them up, you know. I'll still be like, oh, I screwed that up, you know. And most of the time I just play through it. But then I go back and do it again because I did mess it up, you know. And that's the thing. People are human, and a live band is going to make mistakes, and you shouldn't be upset about it. I mean, it's just crazy to me to think that people were complaining. Now, I will say I saw a bunch of people defending it, too, and telling people that they're idiots for complaining that. They should be glad that these bands are still playing live because most of the bands you're seeing nowadays, you're not getting live shows anymore. You're just getting tracks with people faking it on stage. And who the hell wants to pay for that? I guess you guys, you know, that are out there paying for these concerts want to pay for it, but I wouldn't pay for it. The hell with that. I want to see a live band, you know. So those are my thoughts on it. I just think it's crazy, and people need to quit being so attached to this digital age and thinking everything's perfect because it's not. What you see a lot of times on the internet is very much what people want you to see, but it's not reality of what's really out there. And this whole we can make everything perfect world, guess what? The world's not perfect. Music's not perfect. No matter how hard you try to make it, it's not gonna be perfect. You know, so you need to get that out of your head. I mean, I think the biggest thing you can do is get off your damn computer and actually go out there and do something instead of complaining about shit, you know? I mean, go create something. Show us what you got. That's what I got to tell you. For all you guys that want to complain about, you know, bands, you know, you get mad at a band for making a lot of mistakes, get your ass on the stage and go show us what you got. And show us that you can play perfectly every night, 5 nights, 7 nights, 160, 200 shows a year. I want to see you get out there and play perfectly every night because you can't do it. I don't give a shit how good you are. You can't do it. The best freaking musicians in the world can't do it. They will make mistakes. It's going to happen because you're human. You're human. Get that through your head again. You're human, and humans make mistakes, you know. Be glad that there's bands out there still playing live, because I'm very glad that still to see a band like Metallica that's had such a long history and they're still putting out new music and still going out there playing live and have no problem owning it when they do make a mistake. They're very open and honest with their fans, and I think they're just, you know, they've had a really amazing career. Whether you like Metallica or not, I mean, you can't take away everything they've accomplished and the doors that they've opened for other bands, you know. And I'm not saying there hasn't been other bands that are out there that are in that same genre that are awesome, because there are. There's tons of them. There's tons of them, you know. But that's the reference I'm just using right now. So I want to hear what you guys' thoughts are on this, you know. Should you get upset if a band makes a mistake when they're playing live or has to stop a song and restart it? Should you get mad about that? Or should you be like, hey, that's cool because they're playing live and it happens. And that's the great thing about a live show is you never know what you're going to get. You know, I've seen some amazing live shows where bands have stretched out songs and done some really cool stuff that you wouldn't see or hear any other way. And I would rather see that where bands improvise. Hailstorm is a great example of a band that will improvise and stretch their songs out and do all kinds of stuff because they play live. And that's one of the things I like about them is they play live. So, would love to know what your questions, comments are about this situation down below. Me personally, you guys heard it. I have zero problems with the band if they make a mistake or they have to restart a song. It happens. That's just the nature of the beast for guys that are playing live. And all you guys that do play live, you tell me. I mean, tell me that you haven't made a mistake. I'd love to hear your mistakes. I'm going to leave you with one that happened to us years ago. was playing in a band, and our drummer did a drum roll. He was up on a drum riser at this club, and he did a drum roll, and he literally fell off the back of the riser, and he was gone. We didn't even see him, and we're still playing. We got no idea where our drummer's at, and our roadies are trying to pick him up and put him back on the stage. And he finally gets up there and gets back on the kit and everything, and everybody out in the crowd, they just thought that was how the song went, but it was just kind of funny. So I'd love to hear some funny stories from guys out there that are musicians that have had things like that happen, and had things where they've had to recover from those mistakes, because you guys know as well as I do, if you played live, you've made mistakes and you have to recover from them. And it's how those bands recover and handle that is what really matters when it comes down to that stuff. So would love to hear your thoughts down there, your comments, what you guys think about that. My thoughts, like I said. We'll see you guys on the next one.